I wanted to come on and answer all your questions about my wedding. If you don't know, I got married, I think it's a month ago now. It's a month ago. Today's the 10th that I'm just recording this, so it's a month ago tomorrow, which is mad. Time has flown ever since, and I originally wanted to record this like the week after my wedding, or like after we kind of stopped celebrating, all of our friends went home. But as you know, maybe you don't know, but you will if you watch my last video, we are currently moving house, hence why I'm in my spare bedroom. This is where we're sleeping because our bed is in storage. We're moving back to my parents for about 8 weeks, and then we are we're renovating our home. So I might be able to actually bring you guys at the end of this video over to the house to show what's been done so far, but it's basically just been torn out more, nothing very exciting yet. However, I have all your questions saved from Instagram. I wanted to see what you guys wanted to know about the wedding, because there's always loads of questions, and I personally, I've never been the type of person to like, first of all, I hate organizing events. Like, I fucking hate it. Like, I don't like organizing for my birthday. The most I will do, I like to do like a dinner party or like something in my house that's like low key, but an event, I really just don't enjoy it. So I have never thought about organizing a wedding before. And my approach to it, like the way I wanted to structure my wedding, was that it was low maintenance, low stress, and low planning amount. Like the way I saw it was like the least, like the less amount of things that I'm expecting to happen, the less stress I'll be on the day, because I wanted to just enjoy my actual wedding day. Because I think so many brides, from what I heard, will be like so stressed that like they don't even get to enjoy their own day. And I was like, hell no, like I'm having fun on my day. So this is for all my auntie brides out there, brides who are not planning their wedding since day one. I wish I had that gene in me, you know. I wish I had that mentality of like being able to pull together a big event like that, but I just don't. So if you're like me, you know, I'm here to show you, you can do it too. Okay, so I think the most requested thing was, how many guests did you have, how did you decide? And everyone knew I had a small wedding, and how did I do the politics? Because if you, I mean, I don't know if it's just an Irish thing, but definitely in Ireland there can be an expectation, sorry, there's something in my eye, there can be an expectation of you to invite, like, first of all, people have big families, so all your family, all your cousins, all your aunts and uncles, and then their kids come, and then your friends' kids come, and then your postman is coming. And look, I just didn't want to have that wedding. My biggest fear, my wedding, not fear, that's a bit OTT, but my biggest like concern was like looking around the room and like there being people there that I don't really know that well. So I said to Ev, we both kind of were like, we want to do a small enough wedding. And I was like, okay, you know, we were going through numbers, and the smallest we could get our list without going into that like, oh, we're gonna offend them, I think was like 70. And that's a fucking big wedding. As far as I'm concerned, that's like a big wedding. I know it's not 300 people, but 70 people is a lot. And you know, the more people you have, the more expensive it's gonna be. So I was like, we need to literally cut it right down. And the way that we went about it was just having a number so small that it couldn't piss off people. So we only had 24 people, including myself and Evan, at our ceremony and our dinner, and it was perfect. It was amazing. And I feel like if you're gonna go small, if you go that small, no one can be annoyed. Because if you're just like, oh, it's just like my closest family and like our best friends, you know, like no one can be like, oh, okay. And no one did care. And then what we did was we were gonna have another 20 people for drinks after, but we just didn't really like the room setup. So we rented the Adam and Deirdre suite in the Shelbourne. I'll go into all the details on that because some people asked in a moment, but we rented that room, which holds up to 80 people. And I think we had about 85 to 90 people, including our original party. So about 60 extra people for like a drinks reception. And it was the perfect way to do it for us because it was so nice. Like the dinner and the ceremony, like I feel like it was so intimate, and everyone was like in on all the in jokes, and everyone knew me and Evan really well. And at the dinner, like I got to speak to everyone, like having actual conversations with people. Same with Evan, we got to talk to everyone, we got to spend time with everyone, like all of our nearest and dearest. And then when everyone was kind of getting a bit tired after dinner and a long day, like this extra group of people came, and it kind of made people have a second wind. So without knowing it, to be honest, I was like, I wouldn't have done it any different way. But that's why, with the politics thing, I think if you're going to go small, you just have to go less than 30. And then people understand, because they're like, oh, they're only having 20 people. Okay, because everyone knows, like, with family, that's like 10 already, you know? Did you do any prep, like skincare? None. I didn't, do you know what? I just didn't want to put pressure on myself. I didn't try lose weight. I didn't try and, you know, make sure my skin would be perfect. I know some people, and look, I always do preface this, and it's not to be like braggy, but it's just like a realistic thing. Like, I'm lucky I don't struggle with my skin. So my idea was just like, okay, I'm going to keep doing what I do with my skin, and therefore it'll be fine. I'm not going to like try new products. Like I use a retinol, just a La Roche-Posay one, and I was very strict on using my LED mask, which I do think really cleared my, like, make sure my skin kept clear. Like if a pimple was coming up, I felt like it healed it really quickly. But other than that, like, I really wasn't strict. With the gym, I was in the gym like maybe 2 months before. Like, to be honest, this year I've been so all over the place to gym because I just haven't found a gym that I really like around here. I'm so excited to fucking move. So I was in my gym doing whatever, to be honest. I really wasn't putting much pressure on myself. And then I was doing a good few bike or ski classes just to kind of get my cardio up, to make sure like my water was down, all that kind of stuff, but we'll get onto that in a minute. But yeah, I wasn't weighing myself, like, because also I was getting my dress custom made, so I was like, I can't really lose a load of weight. But yeah, I didn't do much prep. I just kept doing what I was usually doing. I didn't want to put a load of pressure on myself, because then I feel like if I was like, I want to get down to this weight for my wedding, if I didn't get down to it, I'd feel like shit, you know? Whereas I was just like, I'm just not putting that pressure on myself. I also thought with like the gym and everything, I was like, I don't really want to get so ripped and then have these photos of myself in incredible shape, and then for the rest of my life I'll be looking back and comparing myself, because I know myself, I would do that. I would be comparing myself to that version of me. And if I was doing that, if I was comparing myself to that version of me, like, it would make me so depressed, being like, I have to get back to that, I have to get. So I didn't want to like do that. I wanted to look like myself in my photos. I wanted to look like an accurate representation of what I look at my age and what I was like at this time. Yeah, I didn't want to put that pressure on myself personally. What were the best things you did or spent money on for the day versus you wouldn't do in hindsight? There's really nothing that I wouldn't have done. Like, loads of people, it's funny, everyone's always like, what went wrong? Nothing went wrong. Sorry to be that fucking bitch, but nothing went wrong on my wedding day. Because I feel like nothing went wrong on my wedding day because I didn't set this expectation on myself. A, there was going to be like the perfect day, or B, I didn't have all these like moving parts that could have ended up in a level of disappointment. Does that make sense? Like, you know, I wasn't like, oh my god, when is this person arriving, and when is that person arriving, and when is this happening? Like, it wasn't like that. So it was a very simple day, which meant there was less that could go wrong, personally. And like, I feel like when you have a small wedding, you're able to do that. Maybe not when you have a bigger wedding. But in terms of money, to be honest, you know, one thing I'm delighted I didn't do was buy expensive shoes. I was gonna buy really nice shoes. I've never bought like real designer shoes before. I have some designer shoes, but I usually got them vintage, so I've never spent like a lot of money on shoes. And I was like gonna do that, and I couldn't find any of them. I thought they were all minging. And then my dress designer, she was like, oh my god, please don't get Jimmy choos, because A, you can't have anything with a brooch in it, it'll snag your dress, and B, it's like they're really uncomfortable. So I got my shoes on ASOS, bitch, and it was the best fucking 30 euro I ever spent. I got really simple shoes. They matched my dress perfectly. They were comfortable. I got to wear them all day. They did not hurt my feet, and I didn't care that there was stains all over them, because guess what? Your wedding shoes get ruined. You wouldn't think they would, but they do. I don't know how, but mine had stains all over them, and I don't care. Imagine I spent 800 euro on shoes. Fuck that shit. And probably the best money we spent, I'd say, was, it was basically because another reason I wanted a small wedding is because I wanted a really nice meal. And we, for our starter, we went bougie and we had lobster thermidor, and that was extra, and I'm glad we did it because it was gorgeous. What was your favorite part that was least expected? Tell us about the speeches as well. My favorite part, was weirdly the ceremony. I was kind of like, like, I didn't really, it's not that I didn't want to do the ceremony. Obviously, like, that's you getting married, but I wasn't like, it wasn't something that I was like, oh my god, I can't wait for the ceremony. I was kind of like a bit like, oh god, it's so, not cringe, but like, I'm not really the kind of, I don't really like when everyone, all the attention is on me. I'm not really into that, which I know is probably ironic considering my job, but especially for parties, I don't like it when everyone's like, like looking and staring at you. So I was a bit like, oh my god, it's a bit intimidating, like walking into the room and being like, in with my dress and my dad, and you know, I was just a bit like, oh god, I don't know what I feel about that. And then like, to also add to that, sorry I'm messing with my hair, it's fucking doing my head in. I didn't know what the ceremony was going to be like. but it was amazing. It was actually so good. I loved the ceremony, which really shocked me. And then speeches, we just did really quick, bish bash bosh. It was like after dinner, my dad did a speech, Evan's best friend did a speech, and Evan did a speech, and it was over in like 25 minutes, because who wants to sit through a load of speeches at a wedding? No thanks, you know what I mean? It's so boring. Okay, so let's talk about the dress, the veil, the makeup, and tan and hair, okay, because I've loads of questions on that, so let's just get it all done. So my dress was custom. I knew I wanted what the style that I got, I knew I wanted that, and the only brand, like the only type of dress I could see who did that was a brand called Danielle Frankel, and it was like 7.5 grand. And it wasn't silk, and it had no corset, and you would have to get it altered here, and oh, just like a nightmare. So I was like, absolutely not. So I actually found Audra, who designed my dress. Bridal Couture is her brand. She's amazing, amazing, so talented. I found her because Evan shot one of her campaigns, and I was looking at the photos probably about, I'd say this time, not this time last year, maybe January this year. I was looking at the photos and I was like, oh my god, I can tell these dresses are really well made. And he was like, she definitely can make you whatever you want. Like, do you want me to put you in touch with her? So I did. Now, obviously paid for my dress and everything. So I got in touch with her and we started working on my dress. I showed her a picture of what I was thinking and she did the rest, honestly, and she had so many suggestions. Like, my sleeves were detachable, that was her idea. She's like, you know, you can take them off for dinner and you can have a bit more free movement, because when you have the kind of off the shoulder kind of dress, you are a little bit restricted, not majorly. And then it was her idea to put a corset on it. She had loads of ideas, like loads of ideas, and I adored my dress. It was 100% silk. This beautiful, like, even the photos, I feel, I'll put a photo up here that I feel like represents the actual color of the dress, because white is just like, it's not white, it's a kind of champagne-y, creamy color. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with it. I wouldn't have had any other style dress. It was just so perfect. She made my veil as well. Obviously it was a circle veil, so and I wanted it not down to the ground, because we've tried it on down to the ground. It was just a little bit dramatic for me. So I wanted it kind of nod to the old 60s kind of veils. I could have put it over my face if I wanted to, but I just didn't want to cover my makeup. And she had tiny, it's actually over here. Let me grab it. So it slides in with this clip. Oh well, it's obviously not going to stay on my head because of how my hair is. But you can put it over your head, like so. And it only comes to like here, and then you can do this, but obviously I didn't do that. And Audra put tiny little pearls on it, because I told her, can you see, they're very small, but it can kind of glisten when in the sun and everything like that, because I told her my earrings were pearls. So she was like, oh, why don't I put these little pearls on? So she's a genius. I think that's everything on dress and veil. Makeup, Sue Brophy did my makeup, who is a friend of mine in Evans. She was coming to our wedding, and she did such a good job. I told her I wanted, like, because she's done my makeup a few times and she knows that I wear a lot of like very kind of barely there makeup, and she was like, do you want really natural makeup? And I was like, bitch, no. Like, for my wedding, I was like, I'm wearing loads of makeup. Like, I mean, she did it beautifully, but I was in full glam, like, and I wanted to be, because it's my wedding. Like, I know some brides look gorgeous with really natural makeup, but I just know I wanted to look glam. So I told her, obviously I wanted like a Lana Priscilla, like my overall idea, I didn't have a theme or anything, but my overall idea for our wedding was I wanted like an old Hollywood feel, because I think the Shelbourne is so beautiful inside. So I wanted that. And then Matthew, who does my hair, did my hair, and I told him I wanted like a half beehive, because I didn't want to wear my hair up. Some brides look stunning like that, but I just feel like I would have, I don't know, I wanted the hair down a bit, especially with my dress. I just didn't want that everything up. Yeah, I adored it. My makeup as well, like, lasted so well. And God bless Sue, she even brought like a backup lip combo for me and everything else. And then I had a really gorgeous bag. Where is my, I think I've actually got it packed up. See, this is the thing. I'm recording this and I've packed. Aisling Kavanagh, I'll insert a picture. Aisling Kavanagh made me a gorgeous custom bag. So it was my something blue, and I absolutely loved it. It was so cute. Now, I didn't have my bag for the first, like, I want to say up until the afters, and then I went up to the room, because one thing I did have to do, which was annoying, was I had to take the whole dress off to pee. So brides, if you want a fitted skirt like I had, just be aware you have to take your dress off to pee, and my dress was like corseted, boned, and buttons all down the back. So if I was to do something different, maybe I would have done a zip, but to be honest, it wasn't that bad. I'm pretty good at holding my pee anyway. I like hold my pee to punish myself, it's terrible. But so I used to have to like, every now and again I'd have to grab a friend and be like, let's go. Actually, there was one really funny part of my wedding where it was around dinner. I think it was before the main course came out, and like me, Roz, Courtney, Sue, who else was there? Yulia. We all ended up going to the toilet, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna come with you. And I was like, oh my god, I need to pee, but I was like, just so you guys know, like someone's gonna have to put me in the dress. And Courtney was like, get that dress off. And I was like fully naked bar my Spanx, because I'd wear like Spanx that went basically up to my tits, down to my knees, and peed, and then they like got me back up in the dress, and like a woman a woman came in to the bathroom while like I was fully topless washing my hands. She was like, oh my god. I was like, sorry, I'm getting married. She was like, oh, she didn't care. Thank god, imagine. I was obviously had a few glasses of champagne at that stage. Oh, this is a fun question. Tell us about the traditions you ditched. So we did ditch a few traditions. I didn't do, oh, actually the biggest one probably, and I think this will be controversial. I didn't have a band or anything like that at the afters of my wedding. Because in the Shelbourne there are restrictions, right? So the room we had, you can't have dancing in it. There's a room adjoined to it, and it comes with that room, and you can like get a band there, or I think you can't have a band, but you can't have a DJ, right? It's because of all the rooms are very close to it. And like we were gonna get a DJ, and I was just like, I just don't like, it's very controversial. I don't like dancing, okay? Like obviously if I go out every now and again I'll have a little dance, but as my friend Yulia said to me, she was like, Jenny, in all the years I've known you, every party we ever went to, you were never found on the dance floor. You were always found chatting to people. So that's how I set up my afters. I just wanted like a cocktail party, like everyone standing around, chatting. Obviously we had music playing. I made a playlist, and it was great. Like I much preferred it. Sorry, like controversial opinion, but I was just like, I don't want to do those things. I don't want to do a first dance. I don't want to do a dance with my dad. I'm not a dancer. I don't like that. I don't like everyone standing around looking at me dancing. That's genuinely that's hell to me, hell. And I also, at weddings, like when the band and the DJ comes on, it's really distracting. Again, I love to be chatting to people, so it's always like you're sitting at a table, everyone's dancing, everyone's like, come on and dance, and it's not my thing. It just is not my thing. So I didn't do anything like that. I did no bridal party, and that was mainly because the number of guests that we had at the afters was so small that I didn't want other people being like removed from that. And also it was kind of a thing that like pretty much everyone that was there was like my bridal party. Like everyone helped me, you know. I just told all my friends, like I told Roz, Courtney, Fiona, everyone that was there. I was like, someone's gonna have to help me pee at some stage. Yulia and Devin came up and put me in my dress, so they helped with that. Everyone just kind of helped, you know. So I just didn't want anyone to feel under pressure that they had to do something or whatever else. Evan's best friend Janan, he obviously did a speech, and he helped us like collect cards and like helped make sure everything was going well on the day. Everyone just kind of chipped in, but we just didn't want to put like pressure on people or whatever else like that. And again, because it was so small, there was no point in like people like also walking down the aisle, because there would have been no one sitting in the chairs. So there are some traditions. What other traditions did we, I mean, I didn't take Evan's name, but I feel like a lot of people don't do that now. Oh, someone said, did you have a first dance, or what song did you walk down the aisle to? So I didn't have a first dance because, as I said, we just didn't do that. But I walked down the aisle to Say Yes to Heaven by Lana Del Rey. I know, is it corny that I walked down the aisle to Lana Del Rey? Maybe, but I don't give a fuck. But I did do it. So my brother is a jazz musician on his side job, and he is in a band, a jazz band, and so he got his guitarist and his violist to play at the wedding for us, and that was a wedding gift from my brother, and they were amazing. They were so good. They don't really do weddings, so I don't know if like they want me to like link them or whatever, but they're a really good band, and they learned that especially for me. And Louis, my brother, sang while we signed our papers. Louis, my brother, sang Chet Baker, My Funny Valentine, which is mine and Evan's one of our favorite songs ever. Like if we were gonna do it first dance, we probably would have done it to that. Oh, the cake. Let me talk about the cake. Here's a picture of the cake. the cake was so good. So Claire from the Fat Fox, again a friend of ours, I knew I wanted her to do our cake because I've seen her cake company's called Fox and Flour, and I saw her cakes and I was like, bitch, she's making it. Like, I don't care, because her cakes taste so good too. Like, you know, you guys know I love to eat food. I love my food. So really important thing for the whole wedding for me was like that the food was good, the cake was good. Like, I don't like, you know, if I'm gonna spend the money, like I want to be like, yum, that was delish. So we went out and did a taste test with Claire, and Claire was like, you're doing 4 tiers. And I was like, okay bitch, because I told her, I was like, okay, I want like a real 70s Priscilla Presley, like white, piped with cherries. Like, I was like, I wanted loads of piping, red cherries on it, and whatever else. And she was like, okay, say no more. But she convinced us to do the 4 tiers, which did make such an impact because it looked amazing. And we did 4 different flavors. So we did vanilla. That was just a crowd pleaser. Then we did carrot and coconut cake, and everyone loved that the most. Everyone was obsessed with the carrot and coconut. And then my favorite, which was actually the other 2 were my favorite. I couldn't decide between the 2. We did a lemon drizzle, which I'm such a lemon person. So like lemon tart's my favorite dessert ever, and I love lemon drizzle cake. And then we did this, like, I think it was blackberry, no, it was raspberry and orange. Oh, it was amazing. So we were eating cake for a long time after, and we gave so much away, but it was gorgeous. Would you recommend all of your suppliers? So another thing, like I told you, I made sure to organize my wedding so that it was low maintenance, and the Shelbourne made it really low maintenance because you just do everything through them. They have a wedding planner, Kathy, she's amazing. And the flowers are done by the florist in the Shelbourne. Now you can obviously get your own, but I was like, their flowers are always gorgeous, and they nailed it. Like, I told them what I wanted. All my flowers, again, I'll put in some photos as I'm talking, I wanted just baby's breath and white roses. I just wanted it because I knew the room that we were having our dinner in was it's very grand, and there's beautiful paintings everywhere. So I knew I just wanted really classic white. Also because I love to just, I don't like to waste stuff, okay, if I'm paying for it. So when we were like doing the tablescape, she was like, oh, I can do it like a runner. And then I was like, oh, but then like what happens that, like, I feel like that's just like, I don't know. So I was like, I did it all in fishbowl vases so that they could then move them into our reception room. And also it meant that I could give flowers to people at the wedding. Like, I was telling everyone, I was like, take some flowers, because they're expensive and they were beautiful. Oh, this is an interesting question. Did you have a lot to drink, or were you conscious of having a shocker on the big day? I don't know what a shocker means, but I didn't drink that much. Like, I didn't drink when I was getting ready or anything, because I had breakfast that morning, but I was just like, oh, I don't want to end up being like nervous and like drinking too much and then being kind of locked walking down the aisle. So I didn't drink anything. And then once I was ready and in my dress and my dad came up, I had a glass of champagne. And then after the ceremony, there was another glass of champagne given to myself and Evan. Then we took our photos. Anouska, sorry, I need to talk about our photos. Anouska did our photos, who's so good. And she was amazing. We did all of our photos in 45 minutes, because that was another thing for me that I wanted. I was like, I don't want to be gone for ages. I've been to so many weddings where the bride and groom are gone for like 2 hours for their photos, and they're missing, usually the best part of the wedding is like right after the ceremony, because everyone's like buzzing. So our guests had a champagne reception and some canapes, and we did our photos in 45 minutes, and it was the best decision ever, just like getting them done. Like, we just had a Pinterest board. Like, that's one thing I would say if you're a bride. Now, I'm probably used to it more so with just my job and Evan's job. Like, I know that like having a mood board can really help a photographer, especially. So if you hire a photographer, if you have like certain type of shots you want, like, get them on a Pinterest board and share it for them, because then they'll just make sure to get them. And that's what Anouska did. Anouska also did a recce. Like, she went to the Shelbourne the day before, looked at the room, looked at all these different things, and she knew where to go, what to do, and it was brilliant. She was just like boom, 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 and that's what I want. I don't want to be gone all day taking photos. But with drinking, then at dinner I just drank as normal. I didn't really drink that much. Like, I mean, obviously I was a bit lit, but I think I was also, you know, when you're also kind of have the adrenaline and the excitement running through you. But during the evening, like, I felt like I'd have a glass, I'd drink a bit of it, put it down, then I'd end up talking to someone, you know. So like, I think during the evening thing, like, I barely really drank that much. Oh, tan. So I did my own tan, okay, because I just know how to do my own tan. Like, I have done it for years. Anytime I've got a spray tan, I feel like I'm not fully happy with it. What I did was, I got married on a Saturday. So I did my first tan on Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night I tanned, and I wore Bondi Sands. That's my favorite tan. So I got the ultra dark, which I don't usually wear ultra dark, but I just wanted to make sure I was tan enough, you know, but I didn't want to be super tan. So I got my ultra dark Bondi Sands, did that everywhere except for my hands. And then the next day I did a top up on the Friday. So on the Friday what I did was I love the Bondi Sands, the gold, liquid gold oil. I think when you do that as a top up it looks gorgeous. It's kind of what I have on now, to be honest. So I did the liquid gold and I kind of put that mostly over my chest. Now luckily I knew that my dress really only showed from here up, so, and like obviously my arms, so I didn't have that pressure of having to do like my back and my legs and all that kind of stuff, which I was honestly delighted for. It's why I wanted to get married in winter. Like, to be honest, the stress of having to get like perfect tan in the summer, I don't know how summer brides do it. My hands, Sue told me how to do my hands properly. Sue Brophy, bless her, she was like, and this is what I did: you get a barrier cream, so really heavy, like a body butter or whatever else, and soak your hands in them, leave it on for a couple of minutes just to soak in. And then I got the Saint Tropez face tan, which is really light, and she was like, just spray it all over your hands and like kind of saturate them, which feels kind of scary because you're like, oh god. And I did that on my face too. It feels crazy because you're like, oh my god, is this gonna come up really dark? But it's so light, it just comes up perfect. Oh, someone asked, did I deal with day two? Absolutely not. I detest day twos unless I'm like away. I'm just like, bitch, I don't want to go to your, I went to your wedding. What more do you want? Like, day two also was a Sunday. A lot of our friends stayed in the Shelbourne, so we all had breakfast together the next day. And that was perfect. And my friend Devon was still in the hotel, and my friend Yulia was in town. So me, Yulia, Devon and Evan just literally hung out all day. We went shopping, we went to get ramen, we hung out in the hotel like little kids. It was so fun. We just had like a chill day two, but it wasn't like a day two. I don't like putting that pressure on people because unless we're doing something so deadly, I don't want to go. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna address the elephant in the room here because I got a few questions about this and like messages. Someone was like, did you care that some of your friends posted you in your dress before you posted? Okay, put it this way. If someone was at my wedding, they are one of my nearest and dearest friends, and I do not give a fuck. I don't care. Like, if I love you and I invited you to my wedding, that means I love you. I don't care if you post me in my dress. Like, it's so funny, like, because I didn't put that out there like to any of my guests, like, don't post the bride or anything like that. And I think Yulia put a photo up of me, I think, and then I think one of the Irish people were like, oh god, you shouldn't do that, it's like a thing here. And she was like, oh my god, I didn't know. But I told her, I was like, like, it just doesn't bother me, because also I didn't have my phone all day, and I knew I wasn't going to post on that day because I just wanted to enjoy my day. So it doesn't bother me, like, especially because if I put it out there, maybe, but like, I don't know, if you were at my wedding, you're my friend, you know what I mean? And most people didn't, but like, and also, by the way, there was only ever photos shared of me from the evening, like late in the evening. So I think a lot of people probably thought I had posted by then, which I hadn't. So that was my own fault. I think if you're going to make that rule, you have to post on the day. Do you know what I mean? You have to kind of be like, okay, let's get the photo up. But I didn't have my phone until about, I'd say about 6 o'clock that night. My phone was in the room. So whatever, who gives a fuck? Okay, last question, because I've been rambling on for ages now. If you were to do it again, would there be anything you'd change or do differently? And it was not out of our budget, but it was just another extra. It was kind of like the DJ's thing of getting a videographer. And also the thing is like, when you have a videographer, you kind of have to do twice the amount of photo time because you always have to do it again for the videographer. And I was just like, I kind of felt like I didn't need a videographer, but now thankfully, because all my friends are fucking in the industry, Roz took loads of video content, James took loads of video content, and it was all gorgeous. Courtney also took video content, and I love having that now. So now I see the beauty of having video, like from the ceremony and everything. But it was kind of nicer coming from our friends, I feel. I don't know, but maybe I would have got a videographer for the day to like capture some of the stuff. And then another thing, this is just something that, like, if I could have changed this, I would have, but I had my fucking period on my wedding day, okay? Of course I had my period. So I got married on the 11th. I was meant to get my period on the 7th or 6th, okay? And my period for some reason over the summer was a bit all over the shop. I don't know what, I took a supplement for a few months and it fucked up my period, and then I stopped taking it, obviously, and it took a while to regulate. So it kind of regulated, and I was like, okay, if it's on time, I'll be stunning. If it's late, I won't be. So I was meant to get it the 7th. 7th didn't come, 8th didn't come, 9th didn't come. I was like, you're fucking kidding me. Like, and at this point I kind of accepted that I was going to have my period, okay? Which I was like, okay, whatever, I have my period for my wedding day, who gives a fuck? But I just didn't want to have day one, because if you know, day one, like, you're just feeling crappy, like you're just very tired, you're crampy, it can just be a bit draining, like you wake up feeling like really bollocks, what I do anyway. So I was like, please don't be day one. Now it was day 2, but obviously I was still kind of bloated and my dress was so tight. No, it still fit obviously, but I was like, I was probably holding a little bit of water. I obviously would have loved to have not been having my period and using a fucking heavy, super heavy tampon on my wedding day. Other than that, I think it was genuinely perfect. It was, and it surprised me. Like, I knew I was going to love the day, but I was kind of shocked at how, not shocked, but like I was like, whoa, that was actually, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I really didn't like crumble under pressure to do my wedding a certain way, and I didn't feel the need to tick boxes just for the sake of them. Any of the boxes that I did tick, any of the traditions or whatever else, was because I wanted to do that. Like, I wanted to give my dad that moment of walking me down the aisle, and you know, I wanted to do a nice ceremony, and but I didn't want to do a first dance or a first dance with my dad, and I didn't do it, and no one was pressuring me, but if they had, I just didn't really care. Like, I was just like, there's no rules for a wedding. Like, you could, this day and age, you can do your wedding however you want. Like, and when you do it that way, you will like it better. Like, you will have a better day. And that to me is why the day was so perfect for me, because there was nothing that I did that I was like, oh, I kind of did that for other people. I didn't do anything for anyone else. I didn't have these, like, as I said, like the rules around not posting me in my dress. Like, I feel like if I had, that's a good example, like if I had that in my head, that like, I want to post my dress first, okay? And then if one of my friends did, like when we have had a few drinks, like, I know they're only doing that for good, with good intention. Like, if they were at my wedding, I invited them because I adore them, and they were doing that to celebrate my marriage. Like, I don't like to overthink those things, especially with social media, because I think we have this idea in our head, not to get all philosophical for a moment, but we have this idea of like, I have to put the first picture up because I'm gonna get like all the likes, and then I'll get all the comments, and like, shut up. Do you know what I mean? Like, shut up. Like, they are sharing that because they are celebrating the fabulous day that they had, and they're celebrating you and your new husband or wife, and they are joining in on the celebration. That's how I see it. Like, they're posting the dress to be like, the dress, they're posting a picture of me and Evan because, or them with me, because they're celebrating my wedding with me, and that's why I invited them. I didn't invite people to have embargoes. And I understand why some people might do it, but for me it was like a perfect lesson of like, because I didn't have that expectation, I didn't have any feeling around that. I don't think I would have anyway. For me, my number one thing is I wanted to enjoy my wedding day, and I fucking did. And I think if you can plan your wedding day similarly, and just always think of enjoyment and thinking of like prioritizing you being with your guests rather than off doing photo shoots, I think you'll have a better day, honestly. But again, if you want a big wedding and you want a huge, like those big glamorous weddings, fucking fair play to you. Like, because I've been to some weddings like that, they're so fun, they're amazing in their own right, and it should just reflect you as a person, and I think our wedding did that. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. This video is gonna be long, so I'll do a separate video for the house, maybe coming in a few weeks, like all the things we're gonna do this month maybe, and some plans, whatever else. Talk to you all soon. Bye.